What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another episode of Night Call. We're about to start night 6, and hopefully we can add some more clues to our investigation, because last night was not great, I must say. So let me start off with picking this weird passenger. He's wearing a helmet. Maybe he has something interesting to say? A familiar smell trickles your nose. Oh no, it's this guy again. You turn around just in time to see a little ghost appear on the back seat of your taxi. He remains still as he watches you. Nice to see you again, my friends. You sigh. Him again. His presence makes you ill at ease, but you've stopped trying to find an explanation for his apparitions. Start driving. Elysee Palace. Scoff? A bit late for a visit, no? About now, he should be in the silver room. His favorite one. He died there. Who are you talking about? What will you talk about? What? Who are you talking about? Died? Who died? The president is very lonely. He loves having people around and often invites them over. Sometimes we have tea. A smell fills the car. Our cups remain empty, of course. The initially pleasant odor quickly becomes overwhelming. Some nights, the other Elysee ghosts joins in. A charming man who is missing half of his head. Is that the presidential palace? The Elysee Palace? Not really sure. Gunpowder. Grip the steering wheel. How does a kid like you get invited? You know, President is famous in Paris. Everyone heard about his death. A crooked little grin. People come from far away to meet him. Some nights, there's a long line of impatient guests waiting in front of the palace. The president likes to joke about his unfortunate demise. Enough time has passed. Delightful. Actually, he doesn't like to tell the story when I'm around. He says I'm too young. Forgets that I'm over 200 years old. Or perhaps thinks that I don't know the meaning of the word fellatio. His face flutters. When you think about it, it is a funny word. He rolls the syllables over his tongue. Fellatio? Fellatio? More importantly, what's a funny way to die? Did he die like that? No way. We're almost... what, giving or receiving? Very important question. We're almost there. Pull over here. I don't want to be seen. Our world is just as pretentious as yours. Or pretentious, sorry. By the time we pull over, the backseat is empty. Your chin aches. You sigh. Alright, this very weird ghost of a child has appeared again. And luckily, still can visit or can still pick up this passenger here with the helmet. He's popped up again in our radar. So let's see. Chalderic de Pran. I'm not sure how to say that. Oh, my good friend, I need thee to ride forth. Alright, accept. Right, let's ride forth. The car door opens, your passenger enters wearing a rather heavy-looking suit of armor. The plate metal clanks as he settles in. The horns seem dangerously close to the roof. Be careful with that get-up of yours, okay? Where goest thou, my lord? That's pretty funny. I'll just start open with that. The knight recoils a little, perhaps in surprise. Ah, taketh me not for thy superior, for I beef lord to none. Yes, I am thy humble servant, just as thou art mine. In sooth, since thou asked, ride onward, my friend, to Notre Dame, that most noble of Catholic cathedrals, the jewel of the most magnificent city of Lutetia. Ha! Lutetia? In sooth, it is called Paris by the common people. Paris, that city of steel and stone. Noble stone, worn away by the ages, glorious steel tempered by fire. The entire world, the world looking in awe at its wondrous face, its monuments soaring to the heavens, singing praise to the mighty guardians of the citadel. He falls silent for a moment. then eventually leans in a little closer. Well then, I pray thee, to the forecourt of Notre Dame de Paris. You nod and turn the key in the ignition. You start the cab at last. The vibration of the cab sets your passenger armor jangling. From time to time, his sword makes a funny humming sound. The ride through Paris continues in silence. The city is just waking up. The livery trucks, the first buses of the day, and half-asleep pedestrians fill the streets. You feel a yawn creeping up your spine. Yeah, let it out. Let it out, it's better. Just yawn. Fatigued, my good friend? You nod. Didst thou rideth the entire night? After a moment of hesitation, you nod. Thou haven't a noble steed. Where is your steed? The knight sits up straight and thrusts his chest forward. Ah, a tragic story. Tragic. Geralt. Alright. For such was the valiant creature's name, perished in a collision with a carriage. An accursed junction, my good friend, and a failure to yield. Oh, the misfortune. His limbs were twisted by the shock. Just between us, Geralt wasn't the most practical means of journeying to Paris. To Letitia, that is, bearing the arms of Stilbos, the champion of the scarlet-faced Gravius, vanquished by the conspiracy of the Crystal Sage. Gravia? That word sounds familiar. Yeah, it does sound. Hold on a second. The Gravius? Aren't they those rabbits with bow and arrows? The knight looks over at you. Thou knowest the Gravius? I had a passenger once, in costume like you. His voice suddenly goes up an octave. We're not in costume. We are cosplayers. Then drops down to the more centaurian notes of knighthood. I know nothing of all that. I am the Knight of Stilbos, and the Gravius art my bitterest foes. You shrug. For a moment, you can't make out what's going on behind your passenger's helmet. Until your passenger speaks again. This Gravia, who was getting the bus, right? You nod. Ah, that's funny. It's a small world. I know him. Your passenger's voice takes on a confiding tone. He's the reason I'm dressed like this. I work day and night to make the perfect suit of armor. To get him to notice me. A curious silence falls over the cab. Wait, wasn't the other passenger dressed up like a Gravius guy or something to impress someone else? Maybe this was the person he was trying to impress? I really like him, but I know he has another. I mean, you can barely make out what your passenger is saying. You only catch a few snatches. Shouldn't cry. Not now. Take a breath. When he starts talking again, his voice is still uncertain. I've spent so much time, so many moons on this equipment. Maketh thee not sport of me, my good friends, nay. He lets out a thunderous and totally artificial laugh, which is over as soon as it begins. The ride continues in silence. From time to time your passenger shifts positions, and so does his plate metal. You are nearing the streets of around Notre Dame now. The knight leans in towards you. Ah, the majestic towers appeareth yonder. What a tremendous sight. Oh, the marvel of it. Just think, it took dozens, scores of years to build it. He looks out the window as you stop the cab. My fellowship has cometh. In the early morning light you see a gathering of warriors and soldiers, of magicians and witches. What's going on? My comrades in arms, my sisters and brothers. We are all going to Fontainebleau for 3 days, for 3 moons. We will visit the forest of Brerhun, the birthplace of Rogal the Rash. Your passenger is rummaging about his armor. I know I put my wallet in here somewhere. He digs around for a minute, pinches a finger. Damn it! And eventually pulls out money for the fare. You watch as he tries to remove himself from the cab. First himself, bodily, helmet down so as not to damage the roof. Next his sword, with a clank clattering on the pavement, and lastly his shield, which is no longer seems to fit through the door. Good day, my dear fellow. Fare thee well. The knight salutes you, watch him as he joins a group of friends. There are cries of admiration all around. Recognize your passenger with the rabbit ears. He and the knight greet each other, compliments fly thick and fast. You turn the key in the ignition. Alright, cool. 1149 euros out of that. Not great, but not terrible. Shall continue to pick up fares tonight. Let me see if anyone... Ooh, the mayor again. Let me just check my Pasidex. Just a quick second. We have so many people to meet still. Where is the... Oh, there's still so many locked... Okay, let's pick him up again. There's still so many locked points of conversation with him, so I'm gonna pick him up again. See what else we can get out of him. Although I wasn't the biggest fan of the man, really. Alright, Terne, my good fellow. The passenger getting in your taxi is the famous polemist. Oh my god, I can't say this word, I'm not sure. Polemicist François de la Neige, where you've driven on before. He doesn't seem to recognize you. Actually, he barely looks at you. Start driving. Are you bothered by all these protest marches? His question washes over you. You forgot that during the day people were holding protests. I work nights. Ah. He doesn't know how to follow up. A moment goes by before he helps. Ah, see? There's not much chance they'd come to protest at 3 AM, huh? Not really surprising. Actually, they want to make change, but only when it's convenient. Not during vacations, not on weekends, not at night. They make fun of us in other countries. France, the land of strikes, the land of protest marches. Country is filled with jackasses, slackers and simpletons. I'm not gonna say you know what you mean, but they have to protest. I mean, if you're not happy with the conditions of your country, you have to protest, no? That is your right. What do you mean by that? I mean, they take the bus or the train specifically, protest. Well, yes, they certainly do like to protest. But actually, most of the people on strike just stay at home and don't work. Before you can get the slightest word in edgewise, it starts again. Take the United States, for example. They have no right to strike. It's do or die. Is that true? Is that the Americans don't have the right to strike? I mean, what? That sounds very weird to me. Pit flies from his mouth and disappears somewhere on the backseat. Maybe that's because I'm European and I don't really know, but here, most of the countries I know, you have the right to strike. I mean, that's what the unions are for, to organize these kinds of things. And they didn't become the most powerful country in the world by going on strike all the time. He snickers. His notebook appears in his hand and he begins to write. Strike, protest, unrest. While businessmen and manufacturers are working around the clock, French people should be ashamed. Take a look in the mirror and decide to change, to do something. They expect too much from life. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and bite off more than they can chew. He catches his breath, froth begins to form at the corners of his mouth. And meanwhile, the world keeps turning. While the strikers twiddle their thumbs, workers are working. No, struggling to get the job done, that's better. Idiotic protests march. The Frenchest thing, and the stupidest. We have to look the masses in the eye and say, you do not own the streets. You shall not yield them like weapons. He suddenly raises his eyes and looks at you. They are unfocused and his complexion deathly pale. Are you okay? Your passenger's gaze wanders somewhere beyond the window shield. I just remembered that. I once marched. It just came back to me like an old childhood memory. I can see it clearly from Versailles to Paris. I can picture the banners, the songs, and the people's faces. There were so many of us. We got up at dawn, thousands of us, and we marched towards the capital. our pure and wholesome voices rose up. His voice shakes a bit. What were you marching for? It was a cry from the heart of the rights for high-quality religious education while France was being crushed by the weight of socialism. We were being ideologically purged, completely decimated. It was the end of parochial schools. The end of our culture as we knew it. His voice trembles. Did you win? Yes, we won. So protesting is okay then? His forehead pitches forwards, as if his head were too heavy. We weren't being heard, weren't being respected. Perhaps you are right. A single finger interrupts the conversation. But we didn't go on strike. We didn't bother anyone with our banners or our gatherings. And yet, we still won. He sighs contentedly as you pull the taxi up along the sidewalk. Those were the days. It was a great time. The left was running the country. He leans in towards you like he's about to tell you a secret with a smirk on his face. And I mean the real left, huh? He pays and gets out of the car. You can hear him talking to himself as he walks towards the front door of his building. What a lovely night. Good luck to you tomorrow. With all these protest marches, it's going to be a messy one. He's gone before you have the time to remind him you only work at nights. You notice a newspaper on the backseat. Last passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You start driving. Alright, 1419, still no tip from this guy, obviously. Let's read the newspaper and let me listen to the radio as well, to the news. You pull the newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually something grabs your eye. It's a rather positive critique of a bar called Solile. You make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. Turn the page and stop. Read about a third of the newspaper. Keep reading. Saw something. It's a short article mentioning the strike led by a handful of employees of Confidant du Marais, a luxury candy brand. The employees demand better wages. The owners, Groupe Diamond, are threatening to relocate their factories abroad. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. The instinct tells you to look at. It's on a controversial subject. The victims of Confidant are appealing in an international class action suit. Still haven't seen a single cent of compensation. The article describes the hundreds of people affected with partial or total paralysis, nerve damage, Parkinson's. The victims are ready to fight for as long as it takes. You shake the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Alright, cool. So we got a new clue out of that, which is rather good. Because we haven't got a clue in a while now. Let's just listen to the radio again. The news. Nighttime news. A piece of news grabs your attention. A female bike courier delivering fresh food was run over by a truck. Oh my god. The young woman, who was not hurt during the accident, was fired by the Silicon Valley-based company she was working for. She's decided to sue them. Good for her. He let out a little whistle. That passenger of yours. If it is indeed her, she's a feisty one. As soon as the news is over, you turn the radio off so that the cab is silent again. Alright, so we used all of... not all of it, but half of our time. Which is not really good. Let me pick up this passenger right here. See where he can take us. 23 euros. Hey pal, can you help me out? Yeah. Let's go. The door's open. It's Hervé, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. Wait. Guy's one of the suspects, dude. This guy's one of the suspects. You've known each other for years, and every now and then he asks you for a favor to drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy, what's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tick that you never really understood. You start the cab. Passenger in the backseat is whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good. Yeah, thanks. Some days are like that. Everything goes your way, hey? Belly's full, your buddies are around to help you, you're not cold. He gives you a smile. And then, you get good news. Oh, really? Really? Something you're glad to hear. Well, out with it then. Well, it's my ex-wife. Just got married again, huh? A real love story and all that, just the way we like them. Nice for her, I guess, yeah. He clucks his tongue and briefly rolls his eyes. Yeah, it's nice. She deserves to be happy. The rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over, as if what he's saying had just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses. Whore. Look up. Whore? What? Didn't you just say whore? Your passenger smiles slightly. Nah, don't worry about it. I was thinking about something else. Yeah, right, okay. Suddenly, Hervé opens the cab door. You can pull over here. I don't want you to get into any trouble. The guys in the squad can be a little on edge. You park the car and Hervé opens the door. Good night and thanks again, Ken. Gives you a smile. A moment later, Hervé vanishes inside a graffiti-covered building. Posing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment. And then you start the cab. Oh man! I'm gonna lose all my money today. I thought he was gonna pay. Shit. I mean, God damn it. He did ask for help. I thought it was something else. Oh, dude, I need to make some serious money tonight. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Pick up, this is a young lady. Hopefully, you can give me a big tip. And I really think that was one of the suspects. But I'm not sure now. 7 euros? No thanks. I refuse? Yeah. I need someone else. Oh, there's not much choice here. Let me go to this guy. That's weird. Now we made the whole trek. Alright, 11 euros. I guess we'll take this. The passenger getting in the backseat has an air about him that is all too familiar. When he asks you to just drive around, you agree and start driving. He just got out of jail. His jeans are stiff and clearly brand new. His shoes are worn to the core, and the style he's wearing has been off the market for years. He watches you watching him. He sizes you up without judgment. He speaks first. You do that to all your clients? Yeah. What's your problem? You scared? Making sure we can all pay your fare? I can pay, okay? I've got cash. Because you better not mess with me, you dig it? I can see you giving me the once-over in the mirror. Your mama never told you it's not nice to stare? His tone is not harsh, just a bit curt. Something about his voice, the way it drags, the heavy Parisian accent, brings you back to the 70s and 80s. Don't take it the wrong way, dude. He stares at you in the mirror and says nothing more. Then, at long last, hey, man, sorry, it's been a long day. No harm done? I'm hungry as hell and I drank too much. He pauses. Something about his behavior draws your attention. Something wrong? He stares at you for a second before grinning. It's just that it's been ages since I ate in the city. Food is all too sugary, too fatty. There's something syrupy about it. Makes me want to puke. But that's not the worst, seriously. He closes his eyes like he's thinking really hard about something. It's a noise. It never stops. The motor there, like a plane coming down for landing. Your passenger stares at you. Sees in your face that you're safe to talk to, that he can trust you. I actually went to a library earlier to take a break from all the racket. I wandered through the bookshelves, didn't know what to read. I used to read a lot. I think. Now though, I'd never heard of any of the stuff. The names on the books covers, the magazines, newspapers, it's all way too different. He pulls something shiny out of his pocket, a key. Hey, there any way you could drive me over to Saint Lazare? He nods. My mom will probably be freaked out to see me, but at least out there won't be nothing but the wind, the grass, the bubbling of the coffee machine. Rain starts banging on the windshield. Glad I'm in here. He pauses. My mom feels guilty. She blames herself completely. She thinks it's her fault. She didn't do anything. She totally knows my cousin's the one who shot them all. But since he died too, well... He pulls the key back out of his pocket. Wait, shots them all? Wait, what? Wait, who are you talking about? He pulls the key back out of his pocket, pins it around his fingers and puts it away. Well, they grabbed the first loser they could get their hands on. My mom, though, she was like, nah, it must be her fault. Mothers, shit. Who can understand them? Mine would have killed someone to get me out of jail. She kept sending me these letters as long as my arms, saying she wanted to trade places with me. Like, that's the way the justice system works, right? Actually, if it was, there'd be no more rich people in jail. Not a single one, just poor people. He laughs a deep belly laugh. They'd be all lining at the door, just waiting to get out of jail with their pockets full of loot. Fucking idiots, man. You gotta be a total moron to want to go to prison, even if you'd be rolling in it when you got out. Can I ask you a question? Sure, yeah. I'm warning you, you're not gonna like it. You've done time, haven't you? That's how you knew I did too, right? Yeah, let's just be honest with him. Not bad. What were you in for? Let's tell the truth again. Murder. This violent guy who hit one too many times. Been driving ever since. It relaxes me, calms me down, keeps me busy. Keeping busy, that's important. Very. Otherwise you get into some bad shit. Or you think about getting into some bad shit. Yeah. Yep. A moment of silence. I learned things on the insides. It's good for that. Those guys, the judges and lawyers, they don't really know what it's good for. Yeah. He pauses. The guys I was in there with didn't think the way you do. You seem like a good guy. You pull up in front of Gare Saint Lazare. Your passenger doesn't budge. I can't wait to get out of the city. I worked my ass off to live here, but I'm not allowed to anymore. They never talk about that in jail. Yeah, got a group therapy, advisors, psycho, whatever the fucks. They talk about rehabilitation, but the city, when it's done with you, it's done. He pays you with a wink of his eye, gets out of the cab and walks towards the train station. Alright, just made some money out of that. I thought maybe he was gonna say something more about his cousin or something. And that was it for night 6. That was a very short one, actually. So let's see, didn't make any bonuses, only 37... Oh my god. I have 17 euros, dude. How the hell is this possible? Man. Oh, yeah. I have 17 euros. This is not good, dude. You take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Steps in the hallway. They stop in front of your door, then move away. You sigh and get to work. There's no new documents, nothing. Alright, let me see the new clue I've got on the boards. Where is it? Where's the new clue? I mean, everything was already in here. Right? Yeah, everything was already in there. I don't see the new clue. That's a bit weird. And here we go, yeah, he was one of the suspects, yeah, homeless man with an unknown background. Oh my days, if I can see any of these 3 people in the next night, because otherwise I think I'm screwed, because I have no idea who is the judge, who is this serial killer. I gotta be more on it, I think. Alright, let's end the night here. Oh wait, the phone rings. You impulsively take a step back. It's the moment of truth. Pick up. Hello? Hi. Ice cold. So? He heaves a long sigh. There's no background noise. It must not be at the station. Oh man, where are you? For a second you think she's going to tell you, but then... Somewhere. None of your business. A light, clinking noise. The sound of a teacup on a coaster, maybe? I'm listening. What have you got for me? She clears her throat. Her voice sounds louder and more confident. You glance at the wall. The suspects are all lined up. All the evidence, a whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I don't have to remind you, you cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the district attorney and the chief of police. Even the Minister of the Interior will be in the corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. But I certainly don't want to put more pressure on you. You can almost hear the smile, the smirk she must be wearing. You lay the receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. Oh my god. I thought I had another night, to be honest with you guys. I thought I had another one. Oh, so... who shall we implicate? Damn, dude. Alright, so this guy has 3 of these clues linked up to him. This woman has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So I'm not really... I have no idea. I'm gonna say it's not the homeless man. I'm gonna say it's not him. So let's cross him off right now. This one escaped from Argentina when she was young, lost her parents to the Argentinian junta. One of the victims was the colonel of the junta. She's also a medical examiner. She's 179. And the customer said 170. This is a source from the cop. This is the cop. And the gas station. So I mean, she could be confused. Her height could be confused to be above 1 meter and 80. Oh man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. But like, the gun was a police gun used in the 70s. I'm not sure when she escaped from Argentina. Message on crime scene 3 linked to the process. Okay, that's the junta, no? Yeah. Fought with victim 3. I mean, and all the victims, like, there were no sign of violence? On what? Oh, on the victim 3? Okay. Crime scene number 4. Oh my god, I have no idea. Oh man, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna rule this guy out, the cop. Because he doesn't have a lot of things going on. Who's the... Oh my god. I am so confused. Who is the third victim? Who is the second victim? Sorry. Because he says, you deserve this. But who is victim number 2, actually? The fierce politician, okay. Stolen wallet, and the weapon was kept in perfect shape by a professional. So I mean, how would she know? She's a medical examiner. How would she know about this? Or why would she risk everything for... I'm leaning towards this guy. honestly, divorced from a judge. Moved to mainland France in 1976. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Paul-Marie Fragonard here because he was a retired cop, so he has access to a police gun in the 70s. He's also a police officer, so you know how to shoot it and you know how to kill people. He was divorced from a judge, which means he has a strong sense of justice, I would say. And since the victims are all like involved in some criminal activity, or they're corrupt in some cases, I think he has a good motive to killing them. So I'm gonna go with him. Hopefully, cross my fingers and let's do this. Accuse. Alright, confirm selection. Yeah, why not? You pick the phone back up and explain your choice to Lieutenant Pousset. Why, how, the evidence, your sources. She listens without saying a word. You stop talking and catch your breath. Okay. I'll buy it. Seems like a solid choice. I can fish around a bit to vet your information. She pauses. You can almost hear her nodding. I'll call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No, she's probably going to... It might be your last night of freedom. She snickers and hangs up. You put the phone down. You might as well be standing in the ice-cold emptiness of outer space. You decide to go to bed, to sleep. Best way to kill time. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Alright, before I go any further, guys, I want you to say out loud, write in the comments, whatever you want to do. Just accuse a person as well. If you're following this series with me, just do it in your mind, whatever you want to do, and accuse someone to see if your answer matches up to the game, just in case mine is wrong, you know? So you know that you're a better detective than me. So yeah, let's do this. You lie down on this open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, your brain is running at full speed, your body aches and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You sigh when you think that in just a few hours you'll all be over. You'll have answers. Pousset will have her answer. Paris will be peaceful again. But what about you? What will you do? You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. You suddenly fall asleep. Your breath becomes slow and steady until you understand you are no longer breathing. You open your eyes and you look at your chest. Something has cut out a square of skin and flesh in order to pull out your lungs. Shit! You sit up in your bed and breathe. A nightmare. It was just a nightmare. You fall almost immediately back to sleep. You open your one eye. You had a hard night, restless. You get the impression you aged 5 years in a matter of hours. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later you're outside of your studio.